microphone, amigos y míos.
Hey everybody, this is Roy Kennedy, and this is the Epic Gaming Night podcast about the stories and relationships board games create. I'm your host, Roy, and with me today is Ruthie.
Hi, you guys.
Adam.
Hola.
And Robert.
Roberto.
Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? This is how I normally sound.
He was speaking
Normally
in
sound
Spanish
just like
the whole
this.
time before.
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
We're bilingual here on the podcast, so, well, at least some of
A
us.
little bit.
Little bit. So how's things going? We're about to be in the holiday. Well, we're in the holidays.
Yeah.
Bro, we're about to be in 2024.
I
We're about
know.
to be in
Crazy.
another leap year,
That's crazy.
right?
Wait, we're gonna leap next year?
Yeah, we're going to leap.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. And not
We
like
hope-
the office leap where you need like a military grade camera to be able to see that jump for when Phyllis gets off the ground. We're talking about like a good leap.
Oh, snap!
Oh, that
I was
was
glad you two got it.
that was a deep cut.
That was a good cut.
There's somebody else who will hear this who will be like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I watch all of the Peacock episodes of The Office." So.
Oh, the super fan episodes.
Yeah, my wife is like the biggest Office fan. I mean, I like The Office too, but my wife is like,
I love The Office.
it just. It's
Oh, I love it.
unbelievable. She cannot get sick of it. There's no version of her that'll ever get sick.
I love it. It's my background music.
Music.
Yeah.
The musical episodes.
No, I'll just put it on, and then I'll just start laughing randomly. And my wife will be like, "What are you
Yeah,
doing?"
you'll
I'm
hear
like, "Oh,
something.
I'm listening to The Office right now." She's like,
I'm listening to The Office. But yeah, we are going
"I
to
think
talk.
I've like watched it through like 10 times."
Yeah.
We're going to talk today about our top 3 games of all time. But we're also going to talk a little bit about what we've been playing and such. But yeah, like we said, we are about to end the year. So hey, we're going to talk about the previous year also. But yeah.
Or the
So-
current year, depending on when you're listening to this.
I
Yeah,
guess
that's
you're
true.
right.
Right.
I mean, the time has passed, technically. So,
Right? Like
it's,
right now was just then.
That was the past,
That-
but
that
not anymore
pause.
because right now is the
Is the
past.
future? What?
No, the future is this, but not anymore because I just said it.
No, the future. Right? Where are we going? What do I do with my hands?
or you could start acting like you're lagging and like talking with your mouth moving. Like, this is the future, you know. So
I
something
love
like that.
those memes, and then you see the guys do that, and then you see the kids walking normally in the background. Like, Dad, get me a snack, and the guys are just like stuck in frame. Yeah, good stuff.
That's pretty funny.
Leave it to your kids to ruin the fun.
Right?
But yeah, so this time of year, I mean, I'm sure there is some board game news out there, but most of the big announcements are made around Gen Con and Essen. So I was like, hey, we could take a little bit more time with our top 3s and what we've been playing, and we'll just skip over the news this week and go straight into kind of the games we've been getting into. I guess we'll
Boom.
do all of the games we've done first and then go into our top 3s. So I
Yeah.
do want to start off here with Adam, with it looks like a cornucopia of love letter.
Yeah, so I'm having a little bit of a love letter renaissance in my life, which is a game that I feel like in the community, like in the greater community, like people are probably a little burnt on it a couple of years ago because it was like every IP got a love letter.
Yeah.
And then the formula is roughly the same. So I hadn't played it a ton, and then I actually think Roy was either on the pod or off. I don't remember. You mentioned the Jabba's Palace version of it, which I picked up, and then I hadn't played it. And then I finally got it to the table with my my work group with the folks over at the university, and we played Jabba's, and everyone liked it, and I was like, man, we should play my favorite version, which is Lovecraft Letter. And I was like, oh, I also have the Santa Claus one, and I've got Loot Letter, and I've just been playing it mostly because it's like an easy game to play, like even while you're eating, like people can kind of sit down and have lunch and just play the game. It doesn't really require a whole lot of explanation. You can kind of just recruit anybody. People will see it and they like the theme, or they'll see that everyone's kind of playing casual and they kind of come in. So I've been playing it a lot, and I've been kind of just taking it with me. I've been taking Loot Letter and Jabba's Palace with me in particular because they're pocketable rather.
Yeah.
Lovecraft Letter is kind of like the high production version of Love Letter. If anyone hasn't played it, It's way overproduced for how much game is there. It's the cards are full tarot cards, and kind of the what do you call it, the like the chips, your victory points, because I think you need like either 3 or 4 victory points depending on how many people are playing, are massive poker chips with little Cthulhu's and little
Elder signs.
little elder sign, yes, little elder signs on them. Yeah. So I've been playing it a lot, and you know what? I'm glad. It's a game that I kind of got away from playing, and it's been real fun to kind of just have good people around the table and play some Love Letter.
The first game that Ruthie ever bought.
Call it group chat.
Oh yeah.
What was that?
The first game I've ever
update-
bought. Oh, sorry. The first game I ever bought was actually Love Letter Marvel. Love Letter.
Which is slightly different too, because it's like a 1 versus many a little bit. So one person plays Thanos and the other person plays the other like heroes. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think the little twists
It's super
on them are
cute.
good. It's not enough to like make it hard to learn it, but like it's
Right.
the same thing with
There's
Java.
so many
You've
options
got-
though. You just find whichever theme you like and you go with that.
Yeah, I mean Java does the thing where you have like the different win conditions outside of elimination that you pop
Right.
up each round, and then there's faction wins typically, and then Lovecraft Letter has it's easier to win a round when you're insane, but you need to win more rounds to win if you're insane, and you'll become insane by playing cards essentially in a certain order, and then you can use the insane powers, kind of the Cthulhu powers. So yeah, stuff like that I think in the game kind of I don't know, gives it a little bit of flavor. Like I don't think they've done a bad job theming those overall. So yeah, I'm a big fan still. It's been a little renaissance for me lately.
I'm still partial to the Adventure Time Love Letter.
Oh yeah.
I played that a ton.
I don't think I played that.
It's just regular Love Letter with just different names on it. So,
Yeah.
and then I made like I printed out a Game of Thrones Love Letter that someone made. And then also I made my own Twilight Imperium Love Letter because I was that much of a Twilight Imperium nerd back in the day.
I think I played that with you.
I don't know what was wrong with me, but I was excited at the time.
Hey, Roy, you've only gotten worse, but it's okay.
I know. I went from making Twilight Imperium Love Letter to just designing an entire 4X game.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, man.
But yeah.
Do you
so,
think, though, that they should update Love Letter in like 5 years to call it like group chat?
There's like a
Because like, who writes letters anymore? Now it's just like, oh my gosh, you're part of my group chat,
yeah, it could be like it could be like thirst text,
right?
Yeah. there's some ways you could modernize it. That'd actually be kind of a hilarious version of it. Would be kind of like this very like tongue-in-cheek Snapchat game or something.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
hey, all right, you know what? That's a good idea. We should
Don't worry, Emerson
Yeah.
Matsuchi will hear this. He'll make it. Hey guys, 2025 in January, I'll introduce my brand new game on a social game that everyone's familiar with. I took Love Letter and I updated it to today's themes. I'm calling it. What was that, Rob? That's right. Group chat.
what was that, Rob?
So it's gonna be good.
I love it.
So
Love
good.
Letter it. But we'll get into Ruthie's game that she's been playing. I don't think she even knew that I was gonna put this in here, but this is her game.
Is this an appropriate game if she didn't know it was
my
gonna be in here?
goodness. Yeah.
We talked about earlier. She's like, I haven't even played any games, but this was last week when we delayed the podcast. I'm like, oh, you played this one.
That's my best friend Gabby.
Hey,
Is it?
Gabby.
oh wow.
I really like this game. This game is awesome. I heard you guys talking about Goku Koo. Yeah.
It's
the
so good.
anxiety is real. The anxiety is real.
It is real. It's so much fun. Though.
It's so much fun. And I hate playing with Roy because he builds the levels like the
Listen, if
No,
you're not going for
no,
second level,
no.
you're not playing the game correctly.
So last time we had a game night. We had an ugly Christmas sweater party thing, and he started doing that, and I purposely started he started doing that
I was trying to
building
make
up levels,
a second level.
and I would purposely like push down on his levels to bring it back down. And I'm like, we're not doing that. Stop it. Our babies are gonna
Has he
fall.
tried to make the nest off of the main part,
I
where
was
you
trying to
actually
make
make
the
the
nest
nest
on
on
the
the
top.
side?
No, he was building it from like the. So this is the
Oh, yeah.
nest down here, and he's already building it up here.
I'm trying to build it on top
Yeah,
of the
but
sticks.
wait till he builds that neck and he's off
Yeah.
to the side.
Boom. Then you
can't
do the
push it
side,
down.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Because then you're just knocking it on the ground.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it, so I would like get the stick and then just push them all down. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop it! Our babies are gonna fall. So like, stop it. But the first time I played, we played with Scotty and Violet
Yeah.
and Emma too, right?
It was me, you, and Emma, actually.
Oh, that's right. It was
Yeah.
with Emma. And it was a lot of fun. And then we were so loud. I was so loud. I was like, don't drop the egg. And then I was setting everyone up for failure. I was like, it's not my egg. I'm not going to drop my egg. I don't care. Like,
Right.
I like how well this game scales with player count too, because we played with 3 and then we played with like 8. Like,
right.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. This game is so much fun. But my anxiety is like, careful, SpongeBob. Careful, SpongeBob. Like, yes.
even when you're doing bad, the fact of like, if you accidentally have the most eggs and somebody drops one in, then they have to take one of yours, means that like you can still be in the game even if you're like failing because everybody else is failing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So
It's so much fun. Yeah.
It's such a great game.
I
And
love
think
this
it's
game.
like, I think this is the second printing of it, or
yeah,
the second
Devere
edition,
got the
'cause I know-
rights to it, and Devere started making it because it used to be a Haba game. So we played the new
Yeah.
edition of it. So
Yeah, I was gonna say the art looked a little unfamiliar to me. It's my Haba version's always sitting on top of my my Kalax over here.
yeah, I think
what a
this one
great
just came out, the Devere version. So
Part of me
Is this our
wants that.
top 3 of 2023?
not quite yet.
Not quite.
Part of me wants the alternate art just because I like the game so much.
Yeah.
It's such
It's
a fun
classic.
game.
It's like
I think everybody
Rhymer.
liked it. Everyone liked that game. Yeah.
Oh, it's only $15.99, man. Well, it looks like I'm getting
super easy to play. Super
You're
easy.
gonna get a game you already own, Adam?
It's new art.
I want the cute little new bird so I can have options here.
Yeah. I've
that's
got multiple
that's
copies
junky
of-
behavior.
Yeah, I've got multiple copies of Happy Salmon, so you can play
I've
with
got-
multiple
I've
versions.
got both versions of this.
Yeah, so you have the different colors and stuff. Absolutely.
I
And
bought
different color options.
I bought 2 boxes of that Green Team Wins just
Yeah.
so I could play it with 12 people. like, I mean, sometimes you just gotta have multiple boxes of the same game.
Well, there you
I love
go.
it.
There you go. Well, Rob played another small box game here. That is what's
Whoa.
this one?
I played Twilight Imperium 4.
Oh,
I actually played
snap.
with Matt.
Oh,
played
that's
a six-
awesome.
Yeah, we played a 6-man version of TI4.
Is that why he's not on the podcast tonight? Because he's still playing, or?
Yeah, he's still in it.
Right? Well, potentially. We had this one guy. I'm not going to mention any names. It was not Matt. We had this one guy. Matt was these orange people. If you look in the picture, he was these like bird people that their destroyers were like super powerful. They could carry things and they could go a little bit further. That was really cool. His faction. I really liked his faction. But we played Twilight Imperium 4, which is the, I don't want to say like the original 4X game, but it's probably one of the most popular.
As far as
4X
board game
games.
stuff goes, Twilight Imperium, because they were video game 4Xs and that's what inspired Twilight Imperium, but like Twilight
Yeah.
Imperium was like
Board
Twilight
game
Imperium
wise,
1 is like super old. I mean, I
It's
think
like The Godfather.
yeah.
Yeah. But we played the TI4 and we played with the expansion. We played 6 of us. And it was fun. We actually played 6 in about like 7 hours, maybe 7.5 hours, which they were surprised that we could get it done. There were a couple guys that we were playing with that have extreme analysis paralysis, which I absolutely hate.
Yeah, especially with that game is like it's not the time, guys.
But see, what I like about playing with like the bigger odd numbers, and what I mean by odd is more than 4 but less than 8, is you can't then choose 2 of the powers. Whether it's like leadership or technology
Right,
or warfare.
yeah,
and
you only
stuff
get
like
one
that.
of
You
them.
can only pick one, and then the ones that you don't pick, the ones that are left over, you add trade goods onto them, so it makes it a little bit more enticing for the next round to pick. But we were playing, and I don't like to lead out front, because then everyone's going to go for you. Everyone's going to go for it. And so it came to the final. It was basically the last round. We could have had one other round, but it basically came down to this one round. And I made my push for the win secretly because we had to stop Dave. I'll mention Dave. Dave's a great guy. He didn't do this. We had to stop Dave from claiming this one objective. If Dave claims this objective, he's at 8 points. We were playing to 10 points. He was at 8 points. If he claims this, it was a 2-pointer objective. So he wins the game. And I'm like, guys, I need you to do this. And I had this amazing yellow card. I can't remember, a relic card, where basically it's a Death Star card. If I have anything that has bombardment, I can completely blow up a planet. And He was going for this one thing, and I blew up one of his planets. And I had my secret objective made, and then I had a 1-point objective that I was going to make. So I was going to secretly win as well. If we stop Dave, in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm going to win this, and they don't realize I'm going to win this. Well, then this guy who's sitting to my right, who shall not be named, we were playing the game, and he starts. It's the final round, and his faction has the ability that for an action he's not limited to a hand size for action cards, and for an action he can spend an action just discarding a card. So that was his faction's abilities. I can discard cards, and I can have an unlimited hand size.
Yisrael tribe or whatever they're called.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So he's hoarding all these cards. And then we're like, bro, we need your... He had, I think he had leadership. And we're all needing him to do leadership so we could flip over our cards to get resources, to get more or not more points, to get more turns, to get our tokens, to be able to do stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's just like, nope. I'm going to discard a card. Nope. I'm going to discard a card. He was being such
Just timing everybody out. Yeah, I hate that.
And everyone's like, what are you doing? Like, even his friends are like, bro, you're being an a-hole about this. Like, what in the heck is going on? And he's like, hold on. Nope, I'm going to discard a card. And everyone's like...
But he was doing it like that? Like, he wasn't just doing it like, this is the best strategic thing I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. He's he's like, ha, 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 ha.
And I started to get mean. If you know me, I was being mean. If you didn't know me, you're just like, oh, Rob's frustrated. But if you know me, I'm like, I was making like little underbreath comments like, oh, you're enjoying this little bit of power. Oh, okay, you got like small mans. And okay, so I'm just like making because I'm like clearly frustrated. We're all frustrated. And what ends up happening is it
was really hard for him to get home with all his tires slashed. That was rough.
Right. The reason why he did it is he was going for the win himself. He was going for the same 2-point objective that Dave was going for. And again, I'll say Dave's name. Dave is amazing. Love you, Dave.
Dave didn't delay the game. 37 rounds. Yeah. Please tell me that the person who was doing that didn't also have AP.
Oh, yeah. He had super AP. The worst AP. Because he would sit there and look through all of his cards and then say, okay, I'm going to discard a card. And then he would look through all of his cards again to decide which cards he's going to discard. And remember, there's 5
This story just gives me anxiety.
It sucks.
You can ask Matt. Next time you see Matt or talk to Matt, ask him, what did my face look like? Like, at one point, I was like making, like, little gestures behind the guy's back, like, yo, let's just murder this man.
Was this worse than Rex? No, I'm just kidding.
Murder this and so he's like, he's going to go for the same point objective to get his 2 points to win the game. And he attacks Matt. This 2-point objective was you had to control a planet outside or inside the home world of 2 opposing factions.
Holy
so
smokes.
He controlled a planet outside of Matt's planet, and then he was coming over to control mine. And he had all these cards, and his faction was great because the cards he had were amazing. He had this one card that allowed him to go through asteroid fields without having that tech, so he could fly to my homeworld. And he had this other card where he could play this, and he could do a free upgrade on a ship, a free tech card to upgrade a ship. So he upgrades his dreadnoughts, and he moves through the asteroid field, and then he activates my homeworld. And this is what pissed me off, but it was sort of kind of super sweet at the same time. So throughout the game, him and I were neighbors. We were neighbors. And you know how, like, when you're first playing, you're like, hey, man, you leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. You leave me alone, I'll leave you alone.
Yeah, the Armistice line. Like, don't go across this line. This is the line. And, don't step across the line.
And we had, like, a couple of, like, little skirmishes, but we always worked it out between trade goods and other stuff like that, to get little objectives. Well, he forgot something very important. he gave me a support for the throne card.
Oh, and then he
And
attacked
he was at
you.
8 minutes.
Wow.
And the moment he activated my turn, after he had 47 minutes looking at his dumb cards, the moment he activated my space to attack my turn, he's like, all right, I'm going to go for the win. Because there was only a couple ships in there. He was easily going to take it. I said, oh, you're going to go do this, right? And he said, yeah, man, I'm going for the turn, and I'm activating your space. And he put down his chip. And as soon as he put down his chip, and I told him before his turn, since he was being like the little douchebag and stuff like that, we made it. Because this was also the type of guy that would make a move. And it was like, oh, guys, I didn't mean to do that. Do you guys mind if I take that back? Oh, guys, I'm going to do you mind if I didn't mean to do I didn't know I could do this. So he was driving me crazy. So before he started his douchebagness, right, I told him, and I announced to everybody, listen, big guy, you've had all this time. We're not allowing you to take anything back. If you make a turn, you just make a turn. Like, that's it. Take backs because you forgot about this or that. And he's like, yeah, okay. So then everybody's passed. It's him with all of his cards, and he goes for his turn. And then all of a sudden, he activates my space. And he's like, all right, I'm going to go for this, and I'm going to get the win. Because him having leadership, he would score before Dave would score. So he would essentially get 10 points first. So as soon as he activates my space, as soon as he puts his token down, I throw out his support the throne card in front of him. I said, oh, you activated my space. You lose a point. And so instead of being able to get 10, now he's going to end the turn with 9. And he's like, no.
Yes.
And everyone else is like, Robert, you're amazing. We just lost it. We were like, everyone was mad. We were like, screw you. He shall not be named. You're a terrible person.
Wait,
and his friend was like,
I'm wondering, is this why Kent's not on the podcast tonight? I'm just kidding.
And yes, Ben, it makes bad player habits are worse when you're playing such a long game. And he's perfect. Like, I don't know this guy. And his friends are like, hey, bro, you are being a jerk about this. Like, he was just because he thought he had it all planned. And then he forgot his one main thing. And so what ends up happening is I'm like, great, he failed at this. I'm going to be able to win. But then Dave, who I love Dave, and I'll mention Dave's name. I'll mention Dave and Matt. Dave ends up, he had a backup plan to win because he had a secret objective, and then he had this other thing. And because Dave was before me, he was able to win before I was able to win. So it was a fantastic game. It was a lot of fun. I love Twilight Imperium. The good thing about Dave and his group is they play like once or twice a year. And so since Dave and I are friends, he typically sends me an invite. So this is a game I get to play about once a year. It's such a fun game. It's such a big game. It's an experience.
Sure.
But it's definitely like a gamer's game. But it was so much fun. I absolutely love Twilight Imperium 4. I know it's a big whole story, but I love the fact that the guy, it was close to an hour, Roy. It was close to an hour alone for this one guy.
You guys should just let him do his turn, and you guys could have set up a game of Last Light and played and finished it, and then come back.
We let him do his turn. We ordered pizza at the start of his turn. Pizza arrived. We all ate pizza, and he's still doing his turn.
I hate that, man.
We're talking about, like, hey, what's your kid's name? Like, we're all getting to know each other. We're exchanging social medias. Be my best friend. Come to you're invited to this. And then this guy is just like, all right, guys, I'm ready. And what a stupid idiot. You're going to go play the card, and then you're an idiot. You lost the game. I'm so glad he lost. I'm so glad. It's like, it's
so satisfying.
Die, right? Like, I will drown and hold you down. We're going to drown together, big guy. And we did. And Dave won. And you know what? Dave's not even that pretty, but I'd kiss him. I just wanted to kiss him. Like, David, I kiss him. So, very excited.
I love it. I love it.
I'm here for it.
I had another game on here, but it was
where'd
part
it
of our
go?
best of 23. No, I took it off.
Okay.
If anyone is listening,
I do wonder.
This is what Rob is like in person too when he's talking about a game you just played 5 minutes ago.
I do wonder if we'd ever be able to get Ruthie to play
performative.
Twilight Imperium. Like, it would be. I think you'd actually enjoy the game because it does take a really long time, but it doesn't feel like it's that long because you're doing like it's pretty
Can
good
I sit
most of
for
the
that
time.
long?
But if you have somebody with AP like that, it's terrible.
And Roy's exactly right. It's a long game without being a long game because
Okay.
when
Like
somebody
Ruthie's
else is
played
taking
Battlestar
their action-
Galactica for 4 hours and she didn't realize how long
I didn't
it was.
realize. Right.
We played
Well, see-
seriously for 4 hours.
when you get your special power during, I think, the the tact or the status phase. Everyone picks like a special power, whether like it's leadership, politics, all this stuff. When you do your main power, there is a little option at the very bottom that says if you have a token, you can also do a secondary action.
Right, you get to
So,
follow other
what
people's
helps
actions,
is
kind of.
you can follow people's actions. So that way it's a big game, but you're able to be included. You don't like do your turn and then walk away for an hour and then come back and reassess. You're constantly like, okay, hey, who did warfare? Who did technology? Who did this? Like, I need to be able to do my little tokens. And then you also have to strategize for that. So it's fun in that sense where it makes it where you are engaged. And it's not the type of game where you really can walk away because there's a lot that's going to happen. There's also rules. There's a galactic council, and you have to make rules. And this one guy, we kept giving him all these laws where we were just passing laws and giving it to him. And we were just like making him a target. And he's like, guys, stop it. But like, it was kind of funny. We're just making this guy a target, and he didn't want to be the target, so we made him the target even more by giving him all this good stuff. And then when we go in the next round, we're like, well, we gotta all kill him because now he's got this and this.
It's a 4X game where you're building up all the ships and doing all the planets and getting all the resources and everything like that. But it also has like an agenda phase where there's these laws that come up, and you can use your planet resources instead of to buy ships and technology. You can use them to pass laws, and like these laws can be like game changing and game breaking. There was a game that I played with Trevor, I think Matt, Rob, and maybe some other people. But there was this public execution card that came up, and it basically says, oh, that player has to exhaust all their planets, has to lose like half their ships, has to like remove like everything except one unit off of all their planets. Basically, it just like wrecks everything they did. And I was up by like 3 points or 4 points, I don't remember. And they definitely, obviously they should have because I was way too far ahead. But they're like, and we're publicly executing Roy. And I'm like, oh no. it was like, I was like, well, somebody better win then. You guys better win because I can't win now. It was a crazy game. But I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. That was a lot of fun.
I love that.
Let's talk about a equally as cutthroat game, and that is Spiky Dastards. Have you guys played Spiky Dastards? This is a game.
Have you not heard Adam and I talk about it all the time?
I know. but I'm also talking to the chat. This game is so violent. We literally played this at our Christmas party, and there was definitely blood that happened.
We had to bring out the Band-Aids.
We had to bring out the Band-Aids.
Oh, yeah.
Because how violent it got. But basically, you have... one person is flipping over 2 cards, and if the colors match of the little spiky characters, there's extremely spiky porcupine-like characters or like caterpillars or whatever they are, all sorts of different shaped animals with super spikes on them. And you have to try to grab that color. There's 2 of each color, one that matches each card. And if you grab the correct one, then you actually gain the card, and that counts as points. If you grab the wrong one, then you lose cards and points that you've already gained. Sometimes there can be double matches where there could technically be 4 points you could gain if you grabbed all of them. But yeah, this game is literally insane.
The worst is when it gets under your fingernails. When you go to grab real quick, one of those spikes goes under your fingernails. Oh.
I attached, we attached my phone to the roof, so
the ceiling,
so we could to the ceiling, so we could see the whole table. And there was like 8 of us playing the game.
Yeah,
and my friend literally wanted to fight Roy for one of the dastards or whatever, and Roy's like, just let me go, just let me know. Keep in mind, she's like 4'10". She's like small.
I grabbed it, and then she grabbed it and my hand at the same time. So she was like crushing my hand onto it.
Death rolled on
and
the
she's
table.
like, she wasn't letting go. I was way ahead in points, so I was like, please just let go enough so I can let go. I'll give it to you. But like she was holding my hand so tight that even though my hand was loose, she was smashing my hand into it. I'm like, let me let go, please.
And I was like, babe,
it hurts so bad.
I was like, babe, let go. She's not gonna let go.
I couldn't let go.
I'm like, I know her. She's not gonna let go. She's like a small little girl, and she's like death rolling on the table, and I have it all on video. It's super funny.
Oh, beautiful!
That's awesome.
It's
You got
so
some
funny.
crocodile roll
I
going.
love this. Yeah, I
You
love
gotta
this
clip
game
that
so
and send
much.
that.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's such a good game. I think it's hard to find now.
It
Yeah,
should be.
probably.
It should be like one of those old Cabbage Patch dog games. Like remember the Cabbage Patch doll that like eat your finger and kids were getting hurt and they had to like
Yeah.
remove that. Like that's what this game is. Like this game should not be allowed. Like,
Yeah, it's just it's lawn darts with the metal tips. Like it's like it's like somebody published it and they were like, let's just see how long we get away with this.
We did. We played it with our kids
They-
at one of the retreat.
And I have this awesome picture of Emma just crying.
She's like,
terrible. She's just like,
she's like crying. She's like in the background. She's like crying, and me and Roy are
Emma, are
just
you
like
having
laughing.
a good time?
It's a great game to teach your kids and then just let them loose with it and be like, yeah, you can play with your friends. Go ahead. You know, like,
you think when the company made this, they just immediately folded after? They're like, we're going to make
Yeah.
this terrible game, unleash it onto the world, and they just immediately fold.
yeah.
The
They got,
lawsuits
like,
are going to
the
come.
first round. They got that first shipment paycheck of like the first the first check came in and then they got out while they could. Yeah. That's what I would do.
I mean, it
While we
seems
were-
like it.
was it
I
this
feel like
one?
it's
I think it was while we were playing this one or Go Cuckoo. My friend was like, "Do you ever get the cops called on you?" And
Because we were being so
we're
loud.
so loud. We're so loud. I'm pretty
But
sure it was
that's when you're
this
having
one,
a good
but-
time though.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't think so. Like, it didn't register. I'm like, why are you asking me that? I don't know. I don't realize how loud. Me and Roy are very loud. Like, especially
If we're
like,
playing a game like that, for sure.
right, we're super loud. She's like, do you ever get the cops called on you? I was like, no. I'm like, I don't know.
but I will now. You throw it at her. Dastard in the cheek. Ah!
So what happened? Listen, officer, we were playing this game, and
She would not let
those
go.
aren't her claw marks. Yeah.
I feel a little bit like Spiky Dastards is sort of like a gamer's game in that like it's such a bizarre gimmick that hurts your hands. It's almost like antithetical to like these elegant board games that like that you feel really passionate about. It's sort of like if you were like a beer brewer and you went to a beer brewers convention at the end of the night, they're like, we're gonna drink Pabst Blue Ribbon because we're sick of all this fancy stuff. Like that's Spiky Dastards. I feel like
Yeah.
for like gamers because it's just like thoughtlessly ridiculous, but like slightly overproduced, and that those pieces are just so massive and colorful. I don't know. There's something really special about that game to me. I'm really glad you guys are playing it because it's
Oh, it's
it's
so
a
much
trip.
fun.
Reminds me
Yeah.
of Spoons, but with pain.
That's kind of what
Ooh.
it is, right?
it's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you throw your card down, you see if you have the match, you grab it, boom.
Man, I'm bringing that to Christmas this year. That settled it right there.
It's a great way to ruin Christmas.
Oh, my nephews are ready. They are.
Oh, especially if you have like, you know what? I'll bring it next time we play Twilight Imperium, and if that guy's there, I'm like, hey, let's play this game real quick while we're waiting, and then I'll grab his hand while he's holding on to it, and yeah,
just flapjack them.
oof, that would hurt so bad.
You know what would be funny? Here's another game idea for Emerson to steal. It's like Minesweeper the game or something. And what you do is you essentially take hand-to-hand wombat, but you add the dastards in there, right? As
Oh,
like a
wow.
punishment. Like some of the bases of the pyramids have spikes, so someone wants to like maul it or pocket it, they're gonna get stabbed.
It's like that magic trick gone bad where you have like the brown paper bags over like the sharp pencil, and you just
Yes, you can impale your hand. Yeah, I think there's a hand-to-hand wombat with spikes. There's a version in there. There's a game.
There's a
coming.
game there
Oh,
somewhere.
Or you redo, like I play with my daughter all the time, that alligator game where his mouth is wide open, you
Yeah,
press
yeah.
down on the teeth.
Oh yeah.
You do it something like that, but now you put like spikes and stuff at the top, and you do it like, I don't know, somehow with the dastards, like maybe he throws up like a turtle at you, and that's what the dastards are. There's something, we've got to create a way to be lucrative and hurt children at the same time.
It's so messed up.
As long as it's cute, bright colored, right? Like adults will play too. You know, we can come up with something. We can come up with our own dastards.
Absolutely.
Funny.
Game designed by Anonymous. Anonymous is
Right.
Robert Newman.
Somebody in chat, like Bigger Ben, who'll be like, "Hold on, weren't they talking about this like last year? What is this?"
Who's this
EGN,
guy who
did you guys
designed
do
this
this?
game?
No idea
Lance
what you're talking
Uppercut? Is that a real person?
Right? Now it's being put out by Gray Fox Games. it was just kind of like blindly accepted and put in. Like, what are you guys doing? Just we all get on the show one day after like testing it out, and we all have like casts on and stuff, and like,
Yeah. Everyone's hands are wrapped in like
except
zero
for
form.
Courtney's. Except for Courtney.
Yeah, because she beat everybody instantly.
Right? Yeah, Courtney would just get it. Yeah.
Have you played Spiky Dasters with Kent? That seems like a interesting game to play with him.
I haven't.
I wonder if he would play. That'd be interesting.
I don't know if he would play. And if he did, I would.
He'd be like, I
scared to play with
trade 3 wheat for the yellow dastard. No, I'm just kidding.
See, I think Kent would
No,
play a
man.
game like that. Kent is not past the very simple. Like we played hand-to-hand Wombat with Kent. And they brought it.
Oh,
they
that'd
brought
be
it to
great.
Rob's.
He's
Oh, I love
terrible.
it.
Kent is chaos. When you
Yeah.
do social deduction games, Kent
Oh,
is
I
not
know,
the
yeah,
sweet
from
Kent
Human
that, you know,
Punishment, he's
he's
crazy.
chaos.
Yeah. The games that Kent hates are when it just when it's like really turns into random Ameritrash. Like that a game could be really complex, and if it's like just too random at every turn, like that's when you lose Kent. Like when we played what's the Station Fall, Kent was so irritated with it, and then he won still. Like, but it was that's more of a game that Kent hates. He probably plays Spiky Dastards a few times.
I love it. I love it.
I don't know. Speculatively, I think he would play it. So
He might play it once just to say that he played it. He would play it and then make us play some stupid dry Euro game. He'd be like, all right, I'll play your
Yeah.
Dastards. And then I'd be like, please smack me with the Dastards so I don't have to play Viticulture. And he's like, nope. We're playing Viticulture.
Stop whining about it.
you can enjoy a nice dry red with your hand wrapped, Rob.
Right?
There you go.
Ugh.
But yeah, I guess we should go ahead and get into our top games of 2023. I did separate you guys lists up. I don't know which order, if it was from left to right or right to left.
Mine were in no particular order.
Oh, no particular order. Oh my goodness.
Nope.
Man,
Well, we're gonna have to make it up now.
my list of shame is so big. Like, I know my list would change. Because I
Yeah.
bought a bunch of games that were made in 2023 that are still in shrink.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
not talk about that.
I have,
Yeah,
and so like I know I'm playing some of those games this next week at Christmas.
Did you guys
We're
try
gonna-
to stick to 2020? I didn't look at everyone's list.
I did just
We're gonna-
2023 games.
Yeah, I
gonna-
did just 2023. I had a lot of
Yeah,
2022 games I played for the first time this
Mhm.
year that were like, oh, I really like that, but I tried to stick to like more like an actual 2023
We went
game.
into this and Ruthie was like, did I play any 2023 games? And then I gave her like a laundry list of
I'm
ones
like,
she had
oh
played.
yeah, I did.
And she's like, oh yeah, I love that one. Oh yeah, I love that one. Oh yeah, I love that one. So that's good stuff.
So good.
So Adam, I want to do these one at a time, and
Sure.
then so that way we can go through and people
Right.
don't talk too long about just their specific ones. So which
Mm-hmm.
one do you want to talk about first out of your three then?
All right, I will. Yeah, that one you're already on. I can see you hovering. Go there.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll press the
Yep.
button.
Yeah. See. I'm in
Are you
there.
amazed?
Okay.
Slides.
Are you amazed?
I'm amazed. I am amazed. Yeah. I like Unmatched a lot.
Mhm.
I think it's one of the best head-to-head games that has come out in the last 10 years or so, like without question, right? It's got really good vibes, it's got really good variety, like all while being an incredibly accessible game. It is not hard to learn, although it can be pretty deep. I think people who get really, really good into maximizing turns with different decks and characters, probably playing it at a whole different level than I am. So for me, Unmatched Adventures, Tales to Amaze was just a really delightful addition to that. And it is its own game. It's not really just an expansion of the Unmatched series because it makes the game cooperative. And it works really, really well in doing so. You can certainly take all of the heroes from Tales to Amaze and go and play with them if you just want to play head to head with somebody. But I think the real joy of it is just you're fighting these cryptoids, these big bad monsters, and you got a two-sided board there, and you can fight the Mothman, or you can fight the alien invader, and it works really, really well as a cooperative game. And I think it just opens up the doors for playing it with a lot of other people. and playing with more people too, because I do think, a lot of times when you play Unmatched and you have 4 people at the table, I'm sure you all have done it. You can play teams, you can play it asymmetrically. There's kind of ways to do it. It does get a little chaotic. This kind of solves that to me too, where if you got a few people over and you're like, oh, playing Unmatched would be fun, or you're talking up Unmatched, you guys really like Unmatched, this is a really good way to play it and understand how the cards work, how they combo, like what the rules are for like moving and discarding and drawing up and things like that. That will then translate into the one-on-one game. But it's really good. And the other thing about the game is the themes always come through really, really well with the different heroes.
Oh yeah.
It's probably my favorite thing about it is when you get a new character and you're thumbing through it and you're like, they've made so many of these, like how are they going to make sure that the abilities are unique enough to the character but still fit into kind of that really predictable kind of pace of Unmatched. And they seem to nail it just every time in terms of just like making Tesla play incredibly different from Golden Bat and from Bruce Lee and all of the different Marvel characters that are in it. It's just such a great system, and I think Tales to Amaze is just like the cherry on top of the.
It made so many big lists this year. Tales to Amaze in particular.
Yeah.
Everyone is just raving about how great it is. Unmatched already is, a lot of hype, a lot of praise, but everyone is talking about, man, if you're a fan of Unmatched, you need to add Tales to Amaze to your collection. So I need to play this one. I want to play this one. So
yeah, I love a good Monster Rumble as a theme too. Yeah.
I just taught Unmatched for the first time to a guy who plays Magic all the time. One of Ruthie's best friends, boyfriend or friends. And he loved it. And he'd never heard of the game before.
Friend zone and he doesn't know.
Oh, did you just let him know?
he knows
He's
now.
gonna
Down
kill
the whole
you.
side road.
He doesn't listen to my podcast. It doesn't matter.
But she won't commit. She won't, or they won't commit. Whoever they won't commit. But
They're
he
working
thinks
on it,
he's
I
a
think.
boyfriend.
Maybe they just need to play more Unmatched. See, they are unmatched. They need to match. That's what it is. So.
No, there's
Wow.
so
But
much
he thinks
heat
that they're
being
matched.
built right now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Maybe
You
their
heard it
characters are
first.
too asymmetrical. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know.
You guys heard it here first.
If they played
love
Tales
it.
to the Maze, then it would be a cooperative game and they could cooperate and then it'd be great. But yeah, anyway, we played some of the Marvel stuff and it was a blast, and it was really cool to see someone who never even heard of Unmatched get excited about playing the stuff and having a lot of fun with it. So Rob, you should play Unmatched sometime.
You do. I think it's a really great
I've got
stand-in.
some of this stuff now. Again,
Oh, you do?
You have it?
I bought a lot of games this year.
Dang.
I don't have Tales to Amaze. I
We have Unmatched though.
This podcast has not been good to me.
I'll come
This
over.
year?
I'll come over this weekend and play. You want to play this weekend?
I won't be here. We're leaving Friday for my in-laws. I bought close. To,
I'm coming into town on Friday.
We're leaving Friday.
You heard I was coming to
bought
town, didn't
over
you?
80 games this year, Roy.
No,
Rob
he
heard I was
bought 80
coming to
games this
town,
year?
and so he's leaving the state. I see how it is.
It's not good. And that's not. How about this? Those are the games that I have in possession. That's not even the game founds or the Kickstarters or other stuff that I backed. Like my Christmas present to my wife was just a box with a big note saying, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." It was.
You're out of control.
My favorite
It is a good
Unmatched
stand-in
is,
for
the Jurassic
for
Park
Magic.
one.
Oh yeah, the Jurassic Park
love-
Unmatched
yeah.
is awesome.
That's my favorite set too, just because the boards and the themes of the characters are I think the
it's
most
so
realized.
good. Yeah.
We don't
I'm
have
gonna
the
play the
T-Rex
Beowulf
one.
We don't
one.
have. I want it.
The
I think it's
Beowulf.
Robin
But we
Hood
painted
or
the
Little Red
T-
Riding
the-
Hood versus
Yeah,
Beowulf.
it's Little Red Riding Hood and Bigfoot. I think are the. Or no, it's you're right. It's
It's-
Beowulf. It's big.
It's
I love Beowulf.
Beowulf
I
versus
read
Little
that
Red
a lot.
Riding Hood, and then it's
Yeah.
Robin Hood versus Bigfoot.
Versus Bigfoot. Yeah, that's what I have them all sitting over. I can't. It is a good Magic stand-in too. I would say that it's not, you don't have the deck building aspect of it, but if you like that dual feeling and kind of that managing the deck feeling, there's obviously different things happening there, but it's weird to me how well it's translated for people who I've introduced it to who are like, well, I've played Magic, and I'm like, oh, you're gonna love this. It's got a
Yeah, you're
little
just
bit
knocking
of,
somebody's life points down, right? So
yeah, I mean, kind of. It's got that same vibe where you're just trading shots and kind of surprising yourself with what you draw. I don't know. It feels Magic-esque. I mean, it's maybe not as directly a comparison as like some of these little deck builders you can get if you're playing like Star Realms or Cthulhu Realms or even Ashes. But it does still kind of somehow manage to fit that vibe.
I like the bluffing. The bluffing is fun of the attacks and stuff like that. But I guess we should get into Ruthie's first game here.
Yes. My one of my games is Robot Quest, which is a deck building game which we're little robots and we just punch each other in the face. And I love this game so much.
I wonder why you love that.
I love this game so much. That's another best friend of mine right there, Adrian. And we introduced this game. I'm like, I think you'll like this game. He loved it so much that he bought it that same night. And he bought everything. Like, he bought the whole thing. He's like, I love this game so much. We had so much fun. And he was building, he was just like OPing all his little robot, right?
Yeah.
And just like, he was feuding with his boyfriend and everything. I'm like, oh wow, what are we doing here? Like, I'm creating a monster.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. I played it with my kids, with Scotty and Violet, and we teamed up. Me and Violet teamed up to kick the boys.
The good thing about the game too is when you die, it's not that big of a deal because you can just respawn.
Right, you respawn.
So you do want to knock people out though, because their last hit point's worth extra points.
Right. So this game is a lot of fun. I really like it, and I love the little robots. They're very detailed, and it's a lot of fun. I love deck building games too. That's another thing. So that's my game.
Yeah, your favorite from last year was probably like Clank Catacombs, and this is very different game than that, but it's still a deck building game with a board, you know?
Deck building.
It's the production quality looks really cute on this. I think you guys talked about this when you first played it, and I think I've almost bought it then.
It's so much fun. Yeah. It's a really cute game too, and it appeals to the kids and then adults.
Which of these three games did you want to talk about first, Rob?
Let's do Stranger Things.
Okay, cool.
All right.
I've clicked.
But a quick honorable mention, and I know I'm throwing you for a loop here. Honorable mention: played Santa's Workshop. My kids loved it.
Wow.
My wife loved it.
That's awesome.
I think it is a fantastic game if you're trying to introduce young ones into worker placement. It's the game for worker placement, like intro to worker placement. Anyway, Santa's Workshop. It almost made my list. It was up to my kids. It would have been probably a top 3 game for them for sure.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. So
I'm glad to hear good things about it. That's the first I've heard about it.
Yeah, and the production and everything was really well in Santa's Workshop. Stranger Things. I love the IP. I love how it is a co-op game and how you're building a deck, or you're trying to build allies, not so much a deck, but you're trying to build allies and you're trying to work together to save Will from the Upside Down. And
this is when Rob Davio listened to the podcast and then copied you, as opposed to Emerson.
True.
Well, Rob needs to listen more because he didn't listen for Seafall, and we saw how that turned out. And then he listened to Stranger Things, and then it's like, oh my God. So
that's actually kind of too close to home, actually.
Yeah. Oh man, Seafall was so bad. And anyway. And I like Rob Davio. I have a signature on one. Anyway, Stranger Things is a phenomenal game. It's not phenomenal in the sense that like, wow, this game will like blow you away. It's fun if you love the IP. I love the IP Stranger Things. And I think one of the reasons why it made my list over other games that I've played that have come out this year is because they're talking a lot right now about the new season and they're filming and all this kind of stuff. So it's just like fresh on the forefront of my mind. And so I'm like, okay, like I'm excited for Stranger Things. I hope they put out more content. It sort of had me scared when Come On Games, not CMON or, Come On, because that's what all the cool kids call it now. It's Come On Games. When Come On Games sent this direct to retail. it had me a little concerned. Like, crap, was this just going to be a bad, cheap game where they just pushed the IP and made this game? And it's not a bad game. It's got good quality components. It actually comes where you can play Season 1 and Season 2, and it's got different rules. It's not a very hard game. You can play in under an hour. I think it plays up to 4. It's a very simple game. It's a co-op game where you are working together to save Will, and you've got to do so much little quests and missions in the Upside Down, but then you can also do stuff on the normal plane to get your allies and to get more powers and to heal up and to do other things. So it was a lot of fun. I just really enjoyed it. And again, I love the IP. The IP, I'm following a lot of people right now that are talking about the IP. And so that's why I was like, you know what? I really need to put Stranger Things on there over some of the family games that we've been playing. That's also, though, why I wanted to put Santa's Workshop, because we recently played that. And,
nice.
They're like, hey, can we bring that to Mimi and Papa's when we go to Arkansas? Like, can we play? I want to teach them. Like, they love Santa's Workshop. So Stranger Things is number 3, but Santa's Workshop for my family right now is like 3.5. Like, my daughter's going to be disappointed when she realizes it didn't make the list. So, but Stranger Things, fun game. And I think you can pick it up like at Targets or Barnes and Nobles or Walmarts and stuff. And it's like $30. And so it's a great last minute Christmas gift. If you've got that one kid who likes board games and they want something a little bit different, and it's a co-op game. So mom and dad, if you don't know what you're doing, let your kid teach you and play together and actually get to know your child and listen to them. But that's a different podcast. And so, yeah.
Do you know your child as a person?
Is your child
not an
currently
extension
trapped
of your
inside the
personality,
Upside
a
Down?
person.
Is your child named Will? Have they been missing an Upside Down for way too long?
Right?
Ah.
Oh my gosh.
Is your
Rob, does
child
it play-
coughing
does
up
it play a little bit
slugs
like
into
Horrified?
the sink?
Yeah, it plays like Horrified, in some similarities. Not in every sense.
But vibes,
I almost
like
put
vibes.
Horrified on my list. Well, actually, I didn't, because Horrified Greek Monsters came out this year. The other
Yeah.
Horrified came
I
out
never
like a
played
year or
that
two
one.
ago.
It's good. I mean, it's
The
better
problem
than
that I
American
had with
Monster.
Horrified is I figured out Horrified in 10 minutes. And like once we learned our combo for Horrified, like we just ran through the game. Now, in Horrified's defense, I was playing with like gamers, and so we were like, oh, okay, yeah, we can do this, we can do this, we can min-max this, and then like we killed Dracula, we killed the Mummy, and I think we killed the Wolfman. It was like very simple, very easy. And it's like, okay. Stranger Things, I was also playing with gamers, but we struggled. We almost lost. And in fact, Kent and Courtney, when they played, they lost. They don't even like the game because like this game is dumb. Any game that they lose, they don't like. So
I remember that. I do remember
but
that.
they're like, yeah, we got destroyed. So I like this because this also has a little bit of a luck thing to it, because as you're fighting the Demogorgon, it's based off of there's like they have their own pile, their own separate part of the board where their powers and stuff are associated.
Keep getting stronger,
and a lot of their
right?
numbers are upside down. Go figure, upside down. And so that Demogorgon, he might only have like 3 stacks of coins, but he might actually hit for 8. You only have like 5 health. So it's like you got to really kind of work together, and there's things you can do to bring down their stacks and to lower their numbers. And so I like that because it gives you that luck aspect of the game where it's not just something where you can just kind of figure out. That's why I tend more towards Ameritrash or at least dice-based Euro games where I have that luck factor. I don't want a game where myself or typically other people figure out the strategy and then I learn it too late and the game's over.
I used to have a segment on like Throw Punch Lunch where I literally talked constantly about how luck makes games exciting, because if you can figure out or math out the game completely, it's not, you don't get those moments where you're like, we just did that, you know. It doesn't add to that. I mean, I don't see people jumping up and down at a die roll they made in Euro games, you know. It's like, it doesn't add for those like epic crazy moments, you know, where it's like, I can't believe that just happened, you know.
I don't like playing a game, and I know about halfway through the game that I've absolutely lost. At least tease me or flirt with me on the fact that I have a chance. Like, it might be 1 in a million, like Dumb and Dumber, right? But at least give me the idea of a chance. But when you play some of those heavy Euros, like a Terra Mystica or other things, and I actually enjoyed Terra Mystica the one time I played it, but the guys I was playing with, they already knew the combos to go for, and they're like, yeah, and they were able to min-max and do some things. Give me that chance. You know, that's like, I know Ruthie when her combat and styles, like, I'm similar to that, where I want that fun, that exciting, that let's just go and be crazy and have a good time. So, Stranger Things, if you're into it, check it out.
My first game here is Freelancers. This is basically just a story game. You're going through this story, rolling dice for different skill checks. The dice are very like D&D-ish. You have different stats and stuff. You create a character by mashing up like a race and a class, very D&D-ish. But it's all cooperative, and you're going on this little story map. The thing that makes me love this game is the fact that like the voice acting is hilarious in this. Like, Plaid Hat did an amazing job just making the story so wacky and fun, and it's very tongue-in-cheek too, because they're like, oh, wizard, ha ha ha, and they make it a little bit familiar, like, oh, we're gonna go slay a dragon, isn't that dumb, It's just, I don't know, just the way they make it feels very, the rest of like the studio is saying it's almost like Rick and Morty-ish humor, but I think it's even better than that, because I don't even like Rick and Morty like that. I just think it's a little bit edgy humor, but also it's really like fun. I mean, there was a point in the game where you meet this lady and she's like serving you all mushroom soup, and then like you find out her husband's dead, and like the mushroom she harvest off as his dead body or something like that. And then you're like, and it's so subtle that you're like, wait, what just happened? Like it's like, huh? Like, did she just wait? Where did she say that she got the mushrooms from? It's like just interesting.
My
weird
husband's
stuff.
a mushroom farm now.
Exactly. Just strange stuff like that. And you're just like, what the crap? And it's just interesting and funny how things happen. And then stuff like you'll meet a person and be talking to them, and then when you try to talk to them again, they just spontaneously die, And it's just like, wait, what?
We look at her around the table like, what just happened? Like, what?
It's like a clever plot point or something like that. It's just like really dumb stuff like that. It just pokes fun at itself, which just makes it really fun.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, I really want to play this game more, just because of the zany stories. And I know there's a bunch of different stories in it. This is basically, they took their Forgotten Waters system and made it even simpler to get to the table. So I really enjoy Freelancers a lot. It's definitely wacky fun. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to play it. I actually bought this. I haven't played it yet.
You should play it out. It's really easy to like play, as far as like the rules and stuff. You're just kind of going through the story,
Yeah, I picked this up, I think, when you like right after it became available, and you had recommended it to us, and I was like, all right, that sounds like a really, really great time. And I haven't touched it yet, but I will.
The stories are fun. It's basically just stories. All right, Adam, back to you.
Oh wow, that was fast.
Did you say there's no order? I don't know which one to click on.
Oh, just give me Earth. We'll do Earth.
Okay. The planets.
All right. We'll all have the same one for the last one.
I won't.
I'm gonna do that second.
You won't.
I will not.
Everyone but Roy. I really like Earth a lot. For me, I think, talking about a little more Euro-y puzzle games, this is kind of that Wingspan formula, but I think expanded in a way. This will be unpopular to say for some people. I think it's like playing Wingspan, but it's a little bit better than Wingspan.
I forgot to say that.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of reasons. I do like Wingspan. Like, as far as like those types of
you though?
I do. I enjoy Wingspan. Like, I like a little tableau builder. Or like, tile laying games. This is not quite a tile laying game, but it's kind of that tableau builder, because you're building a little your own little ecosphere, and you've got these objectives that they're sharing with everybody, but then you've got a little hidden objective, and then you've also got that when you're activating your actions, you're activating different parts of the cards, either top or bottom, and that is going to create different activations for all the people at the table. So there's kind of this constant attention to what's going on, right? So it's a game where, rather than kind of have your head down, more so than Wingspan, like, you really are invested in what other people are doing and what they're activating as they go. You put your little leaves up, you do your activations, and you got to do them all before you bring them back and refresh them and stuff. And it's got super good production value. It's got the really good wood pieces. I played this for the first time at
the trees.
Rob's house.
Are you talking about the trees?
Yeah, the trees. The Courtney trees. The dirty.
I wasn't even there
trees.
for that.
Shameful, dirty trees. How dare you, dirty, dirty trees? You know what you keep your dirty minds to yourselves. All right, buy the game yourself if you want a thrill. Okay, don't ask me to describe it to you. You have to pay for that.
It's right there on the shelf.
Cost money for a thrill
That
around
game,
here.
the trees. I don't know why the trees are so inappropriate, but
Oh, let me take a look.
It's
Ruthie's gonna pull it off the shelf.
quick.
back.
Get
Pull it
the
back.
get the tape delay ready. It's a super it's an accessible game, but it can run pretty deep with the combos and stuff. Once you get going, you kind of build this big engine up.
These are the
I think they grow.
Yeah. You can make those trees. They start little and they get bigger.
Yeah, it depends on how much attention you give them.
Oh my gosh! Remember when Epic Game Night used to be family friendly?
No.
How do you think we
That
got
was-
the family part? Da-dunch.
Oh, I get it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
we are pro family.
We are very pro family around here. It's a fun game. If you like Wingspan, you like something like that, but you want something it's a little less head down to your own tableau and sort of paying a little more attention to the table. It plays really well. It's pretty quick. I think the game plays in about 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes. And I just like it a lot. I found that it's been easy to get to the table. And it's kind of a game that surprised me. I grabbed it, but I didn't know that I would end up kind of enjoying it as much as I have. When I was thinking about doing this, I was like, man, it's like Earth. Earth has really become like one of those games where when I've had the chance to play it, I really
I
enjoyed it.
have
So
it
many people's
because I
lists.
know that I will like it because I really like tableau building games and I love simultaneous
Mm-hmm.
actions. But I literally haven't played the game because I feel like everybody at work played the game and they raved about it and they played
Mm-hmm.
it a ton and then they moved on before I got a chance to play it.
thing.
So I haven't got to play it yet. But it's right there.
Yeah.
I should
It's
play
very-
it.
I didn't even know.
You should play it. It's
Did you just
really
bring it
saw
up?
Adam and
I've
them
had it.
play. It looks good. I saw Adam and Courtney and all them play. I didn't play it. I feel like I should give it a chance because everyone has loved it. And
The reason
everyone
I like
talked
it
about
is like if I'm gonna play a
great game it is,
Euro-ish
but-
game, I want engine building, I want fast turns, I want meaningful decisions. Well, I mean most Euro games have meaningful decisions,
I
but
just
still
don't care
like
for the AP, or I don't care
Well,
for
it
the
shouldn't-
IP. I mean, I don't.
oh okay,
like,
okay.
okay,
I was gonna
first,
say
like-
I think it's simultaneous. I
it-
don't think you should have
It is
AP.
definitely a game where like you probably could have themed anything into it.
Rob,
but they
do you
it
hate the
pretty-
planet?
Yeah, why, Rob?
I mean, it's not that I hate the planet, but
Are
like,
you not excited to
like-
grow the trees, Rob?
no.
I remember when
mean-
Rob used to like hate on Wingspan so much because you're like birds. Who cares about birds?
Right?
I'm kind of with you a little bit too, Rob. I don't know.
And then I
Yeah,
played. And then I played Wingspan. And Wingspan's not bad.
Yeah.
It-
it's
not
not
a
an
bad
exciting
game.
theme. It definitely isn't.
It's
I mean,
not.
like it's a
They could've
pretty
made Earth
game.
Castles. You could have named it Castles or like Stronghold or something like that, where like, all right, you're having to grow this. I don't know it. Outside of like the cute humor,
Yeah.
I feel like I should play it because I do a podcast with my friends about board games and everyone's talking about this game, and so like I should play it. But like, I don't know. It's like the new Ethnos. It's like the new Ethnos. Like I don't care to ever play that new Ethnos. I don't care at all. I like the old Ethnos with my dwarves and my giants and stuff. And this Earth game, like, just retheme it. Do the exact same thing. Give it a different theme with something sci-fi or fantasy based, and I'll love it. But as long as you call it Earth,
Yeah, facts,
I
Ben.
do think it was
Ben says there's no planet Earth in Last Light. Just saying, Earth died a long, long time ago.
Yeah,
in
come
Last
on.
Light,
There's some Earth-looking-
the star went
depending on-
supernova, and like Earth is long gone. I mean, maybe some of the people are there. Maybe
Earth
some of the people
started-
mutated into those weird aliens. I don't know.
all those humans on Earth are the reason why there's only one light left, because
Yeah.
we found a way to corrupt all these other lights, and it's our
ruined
fault.
it.
Ruined it.
I do think Earth as a theme suffered a little bit from a lot of kind of ecological themed games coming out in the last 24 months. There's been a lot of stuff that's kind of gotten the national park games, the trekking games. There's been a lot
There's
of
that
it.
one mushroom game that's coming out that's done, I think, by the
Yeah,
same lady that did
Mycelia or
Wingspan.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of that out, and I think that makes as great as the production value is, and as good as the art is, it is a forgettable theme, and I would not deny that in
it's
any way.
interesting because some people like die for those themes. They love that stuff. Those people are not me. But
No, I'm with
I get
Rob.
it.
Like, I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more, even if it were as abstract as it is, if it were me engine building and it was like, we're getting gold out of the shaft and where the door's gold. And like, this, the nerd in me would rather have something nerdy to immerse myself in, for sure.
Yeah.
But the engine building and the, kind of the way you could kind of combo some of because you get the random cards that come up in the center tableau for the bonus points, like just the way those can combo with yours, like it's kind of there's some satisfaction to when some of the bits come together with it.
I like being a nerd. It's fine. All right. Speaking
Ruthie,
of nerdy
better bring
themes,
it. Better
Ruthie,
bring it,
what's your
Ruthie.
next theme?
My second game is Wandering Towers.
Ooh, how did you
I-
like this?
I love this game. It's so much fun.
It
The
looks
first-
awesome.
So the first time I played this game was at the retreat, and somebody invited us, like, "Oh, do you guys want to play Wandering Towers?" And then Courtney was like, "Ruthie, that game's really mean." I was
it
like,
was Eric Link.
"Bet." I was like, "That sounds like my type of game." She's like, "Be careful, it's really mean." I'm like, sounds like I'm gonna enjoy it."
Speaking my
And she
language.
was, and I was hooked. I played it like 3 times at the retreat. I played it multiple times. And then we played it some more at home. Roy's like, "I got that game." So you basically have your little wizards, and the point of the game is you go around crushing wizards to get potion, and you have to make it around the board and dropping it into the Raven tower.
You're trying to get all of your wizards into the Raven's Keep or whatever.
The Raven's Keep, and
So they're not cannibalized into a potion.
right. So then
awesome.
you dump it. You drop your wizards in there, and every time you drop a wizard in there, the Raven's Keep moves to the following ravens wherever the
Little sigils are.
yeah. So you just keep chasing that tower, but you have to remember where your wizards are because someone else can cover your wizards. So you have to remember where your wizards are. It's a lot of fun, and it's a shady game.
I
Like,
need it.
oh, really? Are you gonna cover my wizard? And we played it at the party that we just had, and everyone loved it. And I thought it was a nice like introduction game to new gamers.
Yeah, because it's not really like a party game.
It wasn't
it's more
a party
like a
game.
family weight game,
Right.
you know?
So I thought, I'm like, I know it's not a party game, but I think my friends would enjoy this, even though they haven't really played board games like this, because it was simple. Like the rules are simple.
Right.
And we there was too many of us, and me and my friend kind of teamed up, and we made it a little co-op between me and her, and it was a lot of fun.
And there's tons of different spells you can have in the game as well. When you squash the wizards, they fill up your potions, and you can actually
Right.
use those potions as different spells. And you can play with as many of those spells as you want during the game. It suggests you only play with a couple when you're first starting, but as you get more familiar with the game, you can add more and more of them. And the more of them you add kind of makes the game a little bit more gamery, and can also like make the game a little bit quicker too, because there's more ways to just drop your wizards into
In
the
there.
Raven's Keep, because if you're able to combo that stuff together,
Right.
you can do all sorts of crazy stuff.
So you can jump off the tower, you can stay on the tower, you can you have a lot of options. It's a lot of fun. I think this game is amazing.
It feels very Mancala-ish as you're kind of like moving these towers around and just trying to get your wizards, because you can only go clockwise. You're just going around clockwise the whole time, but it's still a lot of fun.
And there's different abilities. You can like swap towers out.
You can piggyback
back.
when someone else is moving. You can like spend potions to like go
Lift.
with them.
Right, you could lift some of the towers up if you know. Like you can spend a potion to lift the tower up to see if your person's there to move them back to the top.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of
Oh, so there's like a memory component there as you get covered up
right.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
for sure.
Yeah. I'm sold.
This game
on
is
it.
this
It's
game is
ridiculously
really
simple
good.
too. It's like literally like you play a card. It has like a 4 for moving towers and a 2 for moving your people. Do you want to move a person 2 spaces, or do you want to move a tower 4 spaces? And when you move towers, you're trying to put the tower on top of other people's wizards. That's basically it. You know, it's super super simple,
We played it with Scotty and Violet as well.
and they had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, Rob.
I'm not going to be last. My next game is Last Light.
What?
Boom.
What? What is this?
Last
What is
Light.
this game?
Let me tell you.
He broke the seal. He broke the seal.
The creator, but the game is great. But the guy who made the game, no.
How
Last
do
Light
you
is just
like it?
amazing.
Do you like me more or less than he who shall not be named? No, I'm just kidding.
I definitely like you more than he shall not be named.
You like I like
he was-
everybody more.
Yeah. He's not a bad guy. He's just stupid. So,
Welcome to the Epic Game
Last
Night
Light. Last
Podcast.
Light is a fantastic, amazing game. What I love most about Last Light, is it does scratch that 4-itch, itch, that 4X itch, in a sense, because it's 4X, but it's fast. So it's not. I would not compare it to a Twilight Imperium 4th edition. They're two different animals to me. But what I love about Last Light the most is the table presence. Oh my flipping gosh.
Mhm.
When that board turns and you have the planets and everything, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, what just happened? Just about every time I played this game, whether it was beta testing or playing my copy and other stuff, I've always played with somebody who hasn't played before. And when those planets start to turn and their fleet of ships, because everyone gets really excited. Yeah, I'm kind of like in TI4. I'm gonna expand out slowly, and all of a sudden, okay, everyone's done and everyone's got their cards back. Turn the table. I love watching their faces. I love that about this game, where it's not you're not just playing against other people. You're also playing against the board, and you're playing against time. Because it's more than just the game itself. But I'm playing against the board because now not only do I have to calculate, is Ruthie going to kill me? Which she is. If she's sitting by you, she's going to.
She will.
But then I
for
have
sure.
to calculate, can I escape Ruthie? Because if I'm on this space, it's going to turn over here, and this is going to turn over there. And so, there's 3 levels to the board, and they're not all going to always line up. And that's on purpose, because the little one turns differently. It doesn't necessarily turn differently, but may not turn as drastically, or it has less spaces. And then the middle one's it feels like does a more significant turn. I mean, just the way that everything works. I love that. I think it makes the game so much more engaging. I think if the board did not have that, it'd just be a really cool, fun little game. But I think it would get old sooner than later. But I love how everything turns because it keeps you engaged. Because then you're like, crap, what am I going to do? All this stuff is going to happen. And then you have all the tech that goes with it. And then you have, forget how the game's played. You guys know how the game's played. We've talked about it. But the components, those planets, like, oh my goodness. So you have all these like cool, awesome marble-sized planets, big ones, small ones, and they have the different text on them. And then you have all these spaceships. Like, if you like sci-fi, and you want like let's go out there and explore and maybe blow up other aliens, get Last Light. It's one of those games where it's one of my favorite board presentation games out there. And the game's a great game as well. I love all the card drafting. Well, not card drafting. I love the card play. I love the simultaneous actions because Roy, like me, we're not big fans of AP. And so by this way, it's not really there's really not AP. You're going and you're moving and you're chugging along and you can't really second guess a lot because when somebody's playing their action, they might do something that screws you over. So you've got to be quick on playing your actions and stuff. It is a phenomenal game. It is so much fun. I'm really glad Gray Fox bought into Roy's vision and made the game the way that he wanted it to be made. I don't think it would have been the same with cardboard components. It would have looked nice, yes, but it would not have been the same. And so I love presentation. Presentation, it kicks it out of the park. I like fast-paced, crazy Ameritrash works games. It kicks it out of the park. And then I actually also, I do a podcast with a creator, so that also kicks it out of the park. So it's a phenomenal game. And I'm not just I know some people are like, well, he's on the show and stuff. No, it really is. It's not just because I know Roy. That makes it sweeter. I love to see my friends succeed. I love to see my friends have the success and to see dreams and stuff come to fruition. It should give you hope that the guy who was playing board games in his garage in North Carolina with a bunch of other smelly dudes that just got off work at Target made it a super successful game that it's now on its second run for Kickstarter or GameFound. Like, there's hope. And Roy did it, and the game is fantastic. So, big fan of Last Light. And one thing I will give Last Light, I also love your price options because you do have like the basic version, and then you also have a deluxe version. But the basic version is not basic. You still get all the planets. You still get all those things. Like you may
Yeah.
not have the crystals for your resources, but the board presentation is still great. Like
Yeah,
your
Shane was
asteroid may
like,
not be-
no matter what version of this game, you're going to have those 3D planets. He's like, I'm not gonna have this game sitting there where someone doesn't have that feeling of like, holy smokes, those planets are rotating around, you know?
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so good. And the way the bases and everything, you would think planets are gonna fall all over the place as the board moves, but they don't. It's just really well done. It's a fantastic game. And even if I had played my list of shame, because my list of shame is huge for all the 2023 games owned, Last Light would still be on there. Last Light would still be on there. Fantastic game. Love Last Light. And yeah.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it either.
This is game Ruthie made.
Exactly. Don't get me in trouble, guys. She's gonna be like, well, if my last name was Canaday already. Ah! I had to preempt the attack. My second game here is Dune Imperium Uprising. I love Dune Imperium, and I feel like it's so strange to put a game on here that is very, very similar to a game that came out a couple years ago. You know, it's all like it's so similar. But I love Dune, and this was one of the few games I rated a 10 this year. And I love what they've done to change it up. I love that they've added spies to it. They're amazing. I love the worms that they add to it. It's amazing. I love just the way they've kind of like taken Dune and just made it like even better in a lot of different ways. I feel like the board has more interesting choices in the spaces you go to. And Dune is in my like top 5, and this just solidifies like its place in like my favorite games of all time. I love Dune Imperium Uprising. It's so much fun. I mean, on top of it, the expense that I had with getting to play with like the Mr. Beast crew and like playing in a big tournament. This is one of my most played games this year. And that's just because I played it in a tournament. We played over and over and over again all weekend long.
In the span of 3 days.
In the span of 3 days, I played this game so many times. Like literally, get up from playing a game of Dune, go to the bathroom, sit back down and play a game of Dune, you know? And it's like, or not even go to the bathroom, it's just immediately play another game of Dune. It's just like so many games. And it was so much fun to see it played at such a high level. And there's people talking about, oh, this card and that card. And oh man, first turn, if you go here and there, then you can do that. But if you're the third player in turn order, you should do this and this. You know, it was just really cool to see how strategic this game can be. But it's extremely, extremely interactive, you know? You see the plays, you see where other players are going. It's like, I need to block them. I can't let them get hooks because they're going to like get worms and they can't have worms that fast. I need to slow them down. Oh man, if he gets one more Solari, he's going to be able to get his Sword Master, and that's way too fast for him to get that. Like, let's slow him down there. You know, there's so many cool plays that you can make in this game. And maybe I played it too much at this point, but I really enjoy it and I want to play it more. You know, I really enjoy Dune Uprising.
It's on my list of shame.
It's very, very similar to Dune, but it adds spies, which spies are cool, and worms.
Dune
And if
is
you're talking about the trees in Earth, don't look at the worms in Dune Uprising.
right? They're not.
They're next level.
Never mind. I was about to say something bad. I'm not going to say it.
I know. Like number one image on Board Game Geek for like a while there was just the Dune worms like laid out like and with the caption, "What were they thinking?" or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm like, great. Anyway,
Yeah, you know, they tried.
all right, Adam. I'm not sure what your last game is, but what is it?
Oh man. So my last game is Last Light as well.
What?
And we've talked about it so much. I don't want to be like too. I just really don't want to get Roy's head any bigger than it needs to be right now.
You didn't get the text. If you want to be in the podcast, put this on your list.
Oh, I just got the $100 for the first time I talked about it.
Yeah, right.
That came from Josh at Gray Fox. It's
Oh wow, Josh is giving out people money.
yeah, Josh actually handed it out to me. Josh, I met and played games with Josh once. He doesn't remember me.
But he's giving you $100.
Yeah, give me $100 though.
You've made more off Last Light than I had. No, I'm just kidding.
and that's the other thing about your dreams coming true in gaming. Unless you're Emerson Matsuchi and you steal all your ideas from Rob.
Exactly.
One day Emerson's gonna catch on to this.
Maybe I'm gonna get a text, an angry text. Like, what are you guys even talking about? Why do you keep name dropping me?
Why we getting on Emerson's case? Yeah, Last Light continues to be really easy to play. I think too, like, you know, Rob was saying that you know, oh, it's not just because it's Roy's game, and it's not, but in a way it is, because I think the reason that we all became friends was this common interest in a certain type of game, really, right? Like, it's kind of the thing that, like, I mean, I think we all get along, but it was also that, right? It was this idea of these kind of games, right? These big epic space and fantasy themed games that had a little bit of chaos to them. And then watching game design kind of evolve over the last 10 years and having games that had that chaos and that randomness, like, find ways to, like, reduce the setup and to make their table time a little bit lighter and stuff. And I think, like, Roy's been so in tune to that, that he made a game that effectively would play well for his friends. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's the reason that, like, Rob and I are like, I love this. We've been talking about these kind of games for years now. Mm-hmm. And I think he did a really great job of designing one that, like, appealed to those senses. And we're not so unique. I mean, I think a lot of people are now having that experience where they're going, wow, this does a lot of the things that I really like in games, and it's just not fiddly. There's a lot of things you could, you know, that I'm sure that people could say that they don't like this, they don't like that about the game, but fiddliness is not one of them. Like, for how big and how awesome this game looks on the table, it has no right going up and down and playing a game as fast as it does. And I think that's the biggest accomplishment of it. And I do think, you know, it's going to be a game that I'm going to continue to play for a long time because of that. It's not hard to play. It's not hard to set up, and it just looks cool, and it feels cool to play it. It feels cool to get different tech setup than you did last time. It feels cool to play with a different alien race than you did the time before. It just has that vibe where you're like, and you're chucking dice, right? You're chucking dice in between there. And like Roy said, you're gonna get combos and dice rolls and board rotations. They're gonna make every game different, and sometimes it's not gonna be as smooth as it was the time before. And that's sort of what makes the game really exciting. And it just does it, and it does it really simply and elegantly. And I think that it's great. It's absolute ton of fun, and I can hardly wait to get it. Try to get it set up for a maximum amount of people up here next week, as I've got my family meeting up to play games over the holidays. So we're gonna do it with the family, and then I can go into a thing on the 26th. I'm gonna try to get an 8-player game. I haven't done a full count game yet, so I'm shooting for that. So I'm just real stoked on it. Super excited.
I've been excited to see, like, people that I know playing and being excited about it, but the thing that's been even more wild to me is, like, seeing the people that I've never interacted with or never seen before in my life, like, flipping out about the game and be like, oh, holy smokes, they get it, you know? I talked about this. I had, like, a experiences list where, like, people were sending me pictures from Board Game Geek Con with, like, a table full of dudes like my dad's age, like, all playing Last Light together and, like, having a blast with it. And then I have pictures of, like two dads with their young kids playing Last Light, you know, and just seeing, like, the range of people that can enjoy the game just because of how accessible it is, has been, like, crazy to me. And I'm, like, super thankful and super grateful that, like, it actually came to fruition, you know, like Gray Fox was actually able to make it happen, and, like, they pulled it off and actually got it out there. And I'm excited to see, like, how far it can go as more and more people play it. 'Cause I mean, with how accessible it is and, like, how many people can play at the same time, like, I'm hoping. I mean, yes, I can tell, like, there's plenty of people that are like, it's random and there's, like, lots of luck in it and all of this stuff, and, like, I can be like,
that's
okay,
the point.
Yeah, that's like,
the point.
Like, literally, that's the point. And, like, who was it? Somebody told me the other day. They didn't tell me. I was listening to their podcast while they were talking about Last Light, so they didn't tell me. I don't know why I said that, but I was listening to it. They said that it gave them a Cosmic Encounter vibe, and they were talking about the randomness in it, and how, like, so many games these days are, like, super fine-tuned, balanced. And one of the designers, like, Peter O'Locker or whatever, who designed Cosmic Encounter, said that, like, like uber balance is for like wimps, you know. It's like if you want to have like an exciting game, it doesn't have to be perfectly balanced. The players have to balance it themselves and like figure out how to interact in a way to like make that work. And if the game gives you tools to make that interaction happen, you know. I mean, Cosmic Encounter is very much a game of like, that person's winning, they have an OP thing, let's beat them up. There's people that don't like that sort of thing in a game. Last Light's very much like that, you know. It's like, hey, if they're running away with it, you should probably stop them, you know. So
yeah, I agree, and I think that's it. The thing that you've done here, and this is again, to me, it's the gold that you've struck. There is a lot of random. There's a lot of like uneven power scaling that can occur within the game, which is exciting. It's really exciting to see like someone start to run away with it and then get smacked down, and then maybe someone who you weren't paying attention to creep up. Love all of that, but it is fine-tuned in that sense that because of that accessibility and that speed of play, like it's one of those things where I think, you know, 15 years ago, 10 years ago even, when you talked about like Ameritrashy games, like very thematic games, the idea was that you were giving up on kind of the smart aspect of the game so you could just play something that was like wild and weird. And I've joked on the podcast a few times about my love for The Last Night on Earth, which is like an awful game with great theme. This is, you know, it's this game and in other games like this too. They're not random because the game was designed in a lazy way. It's because people enjoy that. What you've done is take the fiddliness out of the random. And I do think that for a long time, fiddly was kind of a thing that went along with some of these big thematic random games, and they still do to a certain extent exist out there. But this just kind of hits it.
You get like that fiddliness out of here.
Yeah, there's no fiddly.
No fiddle.
There's no fiddle.
We're not a fiddle faddle. All right, you get that fiddliness and you go.
You just take your little fiddle and you just leave.
You want fiddle? You go play.
Yeah. I mean, that's funny because I'm talking about two very different games in terms of what I like there, but it's I don't know. To me, it's a game, and again, maybe this is just inside base. It's a game. To me, it's a game. It's you see because you play it in your leisure time, and you really don't lose or gain anything at the end of it. It's
great game.
It's I think, you know, at the end of the day too, I think we all know that it's a labor of love, and it's kind of an ode to those type of games, and you can feel that when you're playing it. So that makes it cool. And I agree with that Cosmic Encounter thing. I said that when I did my first play out of box, and I stand by that. Like if you like Cosmic Encounter and you want a little more of a tactical version of that kind of a vibe, this game hits. It would be real fun to play them back to back. Like that'd be a fun sci-fi, like fun Ameritrash gaming night would be to play Cosmic Encounter and Last Light in the same night.
All right.
Boom.
And then we're going to go to Ruthie's, where she also has.
My game is...
What is it?
Last Light!
We're going to talk about something slightly different.
Well, look.
What's your record? How many of these have you won?
Listen. It's not because, you know, I like the designer or anything. But I've played... I think this is the most played game that I've... the most.
It's a great sequel to Photosynthesis.
I'm sorry. I've played this game so many times, and I'm not gonna talk about the gameplay, but I've seen. It's just dear to my heart because it's helped me grow as a gamer. Because when I met Roy, I was not.
And as a person.
I did not play board games at all whatsoever. And I would help him at retreats and cons set up the game and help him tear it down. And I'll just watch people play the game and then watch their reaction on how they love the game. And I would see how they'll play and then the mechanics of the games and stuff like that. And then I'm scared to play. And then Roy would teach me other games to help me build up for Last Light. Then I finally played Last Light and I was like, whoa, this game is pretty awesome. And then I started just playing it and playing it. And I think I've played it at every player count from 2 to 12. And
the game doesn't normally go to 12.
It doesn't normally go to 12, but I played it at 12.
You can make it happen.
And right. And I just love the passion that Roy has for it. And it just rolls over to every person that plays it. And it's so much fun because every time that I've played the game, I've played it differently. Whether it be with the factions or just a different game plan. Like, oh, this time I'm just building an armada. This time I'm just building tech. Or, like the last time that I played with Roy and Chris, and I was silent the whole game. The entire, like, they didn't even know how many points, how many
strategy
lights.
was being sneaky.
I was sneaky the entire time until I finally reached my planetary achievement. And I was like, oh, I got my planetary achievement. And Roy's like, wait, how many lights do you have? And I think I was like at 15. And Roy's like, there's nowhere we're going to stop her. And like, he was trying to get Chris to like team up to stop me. I'm like, you guys are not going to stop me. That's
You killed
it.
some
Like,
of your stuff, though.
they weren't able to slow me down. But I took a different approach, and I just love everything about Last Light just because it's helped me grow as a gamer.
And she was playing one of the new aliens. It's coming in the upcoming Kickstarter or Game Fund. No.
We're
going to have to rebalance that one. No, I'm just kidding. It worked fine. It worked fine.
And I think we have an advantage as being like friends of Roy that we get to see the behind the scenes of how it's grown and how it's been developed, and then being able to see it brought to the table is just amazing, But I'm very proud of you, babe.
Aw.
Thanks.
But I also like kicking your butt at the game, so.
That's right. Roll those dice. Keep rolling them.
But yeah, Last Light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to print more aliens for our wall.
Oh, yeah. Our wall, the wall in our stairwell, I printed out a ton of the aliens, and I haven't done it since like the game, I don't know, it's even been like on GameFound. I did a bunch of it like before it even got launched or whatever. As they were releasing the aliens for the first time, I was like, I'm printing that art. But yeah, we have several new aliens coming in the upcoming GameFound, and I'm excited for those to come out. We've been playtesting those a ton. It's been fun. It'll be cool to see how it does, they're supposed to be doing it the middle of January. They have a whole launch boom thing, which is like a website where you can sign up to kind of like pre-reserve a spot in the GameFound, which isn't really like a thing, but they've said that like, oh, this really helps motivate people to really get on board with the campaign. So I'm excited to see. There's already 3,000 people that have already following it, which there's already more people following it than like actually pledged for it last time. So I'm kind of excited to see how well it goes.
Yeah, you got 3.8K on it right now.
Wow.
Right. We had more followers last time, but of course it hasn't been like we haven't even pushed for followers on that at all, But it'll be interesting to see how things turn out, and I'm just excited about making the game more accessible for people because it's kind of sold out a lot. So it does make me sad when people are like constantly pinging me about how to get the game, and I'm like, maybe find it at your friendly local game store, but also it's mostly selling out everywhere.
I'll be selling my copy as soon as Roy signs it. Don't worry, you'll be get a copy and I'll buy another copy.
That's right. mine will also be on sale for $650.
You guys are the best friends.
Bro, we're gonna order another copy with our earnings from the original. Come on.
Fun facts: I don't even have a production
essentially
copy
we
of the
bought
game
two
yet.
copies.
So I
You
don't
still
even
don't have
have.
a production copy.
I don't have a production copy of the game. I probably should ping Shane, but like I feel bad because I know that like they haven't even gotten everything to all of the backers 100%, especially like the international people. So I don't want to be like, "Where's my copy?" When like, what if they need it for parts or whatever and they're running out of them?
I think you're the only person though that could get away with that since you're like the creator.
Everybody knows
it'd
the
be really
designer
nice.
gets their game last. So, but the good news is the Dice Tower has a copy and I just steal it regularly. So,
Nice.
yeah, I have a prototype. I still use my prototype.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll go to my last game, which is actually a crossover with Adam. My number one game of the year was Unmatched Tales to Amaze. Oh wait, we skipped Rob.
Well,
Yeah, it's all right. It's fine. I'm used to it. Fine.
Anyway, I wanted to cross over
Good,
with
good.
Adam real quick. Tales to Amaze is awesome. I love Unmatched. I love how accessible this makes Unmatched. Rob's like seething.
Thank you, Ruthie.
you saw me.
Yeah, she was more.
Yeah. Everybody saw you, girl.
It was just all arm.
I'm like that. You skipped Rob.
I was just excited to talk about Tales to Amaze. There's amazing tales. But yeah, everything that Adam said, and the fact that like I can play Unmatched on a more casual level with people, and it doesn't have to be competitive, and you can play it cooperatively. They basically figured out the most simple way to make Unmatched cooperative, and like did that. And like I love the turn order system because it makes it like exciting. Like you're rooting for your teammates to like their card to come up. It's like, come on, Rob. Like Rob's card needs to come up so he can do that attack. Come on, Ruthie, have her card come up so she can do that attack.
I haven't played this one.
I know we really need to play. I really need to get a copy. This is my number one game of the year, and I don't have a copy of it. But yeah, I love Unmatched Adventures, Tales to Amaze, and I really hope they come out with even more villains you can face off against in the system because it was great. But yeah, I love this model for releasing this because you can play all the characters competitively, or you can just play them against each other.
Right. I can't imagine that there's not going to be something coming down the pipeline here soon.
Yeah.
They did just announce a bunch of like what's the new IP going to be this year? Witcher. I think it's going to be The Witcher.
Yeah,
Is that what it was?
I don't talk about future Unmatched stuff because I don't know what's actually been announced and not.
All right. I think The Witcher got announced, and then like a few other things, and then they talk about that there's going to be an announcement for the co-op stuff. So yeah, I'm stoked. They can just keep rolling it out as far as I'm concerned. I own a ton of it. I don't have all of it, but I have a lot of it, and it's great stuff. So
I have almost all of it. I don't have. I think I'm missing a couple of the Marvel sets. But I think I have almost.
yeah, that's where I'm
everything
lacking
else.
is the Marvel stuff.
Oh, I don't have Battle of Legends 2. I would like that one as well. So, but and I don't have. I'm actually missing a lot because I don't have the T-Rex either. Wait,
you don't have Daredevil.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was missing. I don't have the
you don't have the
Hell's
Marvel.
Kitchen one. I don't have all the Marvel
Hell's
stuff,
Kitchen.
and I don't have the teen one, the one that has Squirrel Girl in it. I actually haven't even played that one.
I haven't played that one either, actually. The Marvel ones are where
I
I'm
like Hell's
lacking. I don't
Kitchen.
have a lot of them.
Hell's Kitchen was good.
Well, we will get to Rob's last game here. It's so good. Okay, Rob, what's your last game?
Yeah.
Thank you for including me in your show. I do. This is such a privilege to be here tonight with you guys. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the Little Wooden Trees podcast with Rob Newman.
Wooden.
That's for
fully
he
erect
who shall
wooden
not be
trees.
named. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
See, I played an action card
last
which
game-
skipped your turn. That's what happened, Rob.
That's what it was. I just played against a guy who had that as a whole deal. No, my last game, Thunder Road Vendetta. Here's my problem with Thunder Road and Vendetta. I loved Downforce and I loved Heat.
But
And
those
now
games
I
are
just want to
dead
blow
to
up other
you.
cards. I went out of my way to chase down Flippin' Heat. I would drive around, go to stores. I remember even a couple of local shops like House of Cards. Oh, you guys have a copy? I'm on my way. By the time I got there, and it's 10 minutes from my house, it'd be sold out.
They wouldn't hold
Trying
it
to
for
get
you?
No, it was so hot. Like they'd put it out and it'd just be gone. And I loved it. Finally, I have a copy of Heat. I enjoy Heat. Heat's a great game. And then I played Thunder Road Vendetta, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my racing game. This is the game I want to play. Will I play Heat with you? Sure. Will I play Downforce? I love Downforce. Downforce is a great game. But like last Christmas, I brought Downforce to my in-laws, and we enjoyed it. We had a great time. Everyone was playing, and they're like, oh, wow, this is so much fun. I can't wait to bring them Thunder Road Vendetta because it is Mad Max, the board game, where you are going crazy. And the last time I played, I died by before the beginning of round 3. I was completely wiped off the game, from an oil spill knocking me into a rock to a helicopter shooting another car, and then somebody saying, and I quote, "Sorry, Rob," and then putting their guy behind me and then just shooting me. I love it. I love it how they all look at me and they know it's my last car. Hey, Rob. Sorry, Rob. And then my car got blown up. But it's so much fun. Thunder Road Vendetta. I think they're going to be coming out with another Kickstarter soon or GameFound, however they're launching it. I wish I would have backed it originally because I know there were some expansions that they only had originally for the first campaign that they did. I've got the expansion where it comes with the 18-wheelers and the motorcycles. Phenomenal. So it's such a great game where you have 3 vehicles depending on what you're playing, or if you're the motorcycles, you have 5 little motorcycles, and your goal is just to try to survive and be the first one across the line. The finish line finally shows itself once one player has been eliminated. So this is a take that game. This is not a game where it's like, oh, we're all going to work together and your car is just banged up. No, you will die. The whole point is they're trying to kill somebody first to
Before you
create
get
the
killed.
end of the game. They have to do that for the end of the game to happen. And even if they don't do it, the game will do it, because once somebody crosses the 3rd tile, any cars left in the 1st tile are immediately erased. So I love that about the game. It's unapologetically, we are out here to do our thing. And so fantastic. I love the components. I love the little helicopters and the little cars and your dice. They have really big dice, which is really great, especially when you're doing the parts where like the cars are stacking on top of each other and stuff like that. So the dice and everything just kind of fit the theme. But after all these games we talk about, Restoration Games is killing it. Between Unmatched and Thunder Road and all these other games that Restoration Games right now, they are
amazing.
Blowing it up. They're doing some fantastic, like it would have made my list. Might have been my number 1 had it not come out last year, but I finally got my copy this year, which was Return to Dark Tower.
That's so good too.
So good. So Restoration Games, if you're thinking about getting a Restoration game, whether it's Unmatched or something else, or Thunder Road Vendetta, you will not be disappointed. They're taking a decent IP and making it fantastic. They're taking a decent game and they're adding quality components. And Thunder Road Vendetta, it's fun.
So
now, if you are an introvert and you don't like confrontation, don't play this game. You can be an introvert and play this game, but I'm just saying, like, you know how you play with some board gamers who are just like, yeah, I just want to do my own thing, and like, this is not that game for you. But if you want that rowdy, fun, laughing, having a good time, and you're okay, you know, like playing the video games like where you're just going crazy and your team is going to beat the other team, then play this game, because that's exactly what it is. My team is going to beat your team, and in beating your team, I've got to eliminate your team. So it's a lot of fun. It's a great game to get your hands on. It's a fun car racing game, and with the mechanics of the oil spills or the dirt or the other stuff,
And your car's on fire.
Just a lot. Cars are being on fire, and then if you don't get blown up, you could possibly repair your car and things like that. It's really great. I've really enjoyed Thunder Road Vendetta. It will become, it is Downforce with guns. But what I also like about Thunder Road Vendetta is the way that the map is set up is you can customize the map however you want it. Like when we played with Kent, y'all don't think Kent is a nice person. He's sick because he did something wrong to somebody. That's why he's not on the show tonight. Kent is pure chaos. And I love that about Kent. But like, when we played with Kent, he was like, oh, hey, guys, I really like this setup because if you all put your helicopters here, a bunch of people are going to die. And so he did the setup where the second tile is you have mountains on both sides. And so there's one mountain pass where everyone's going right down the middle. That's it. And he set it up, and he was like, and so everyone's like, yeah, that would be great. So whenever I roll my 6, I'm going to put my helicopter right there, and I'm going to activate it. I think I lost one of my vehicles to it, and another vehicle tried to dodge out of the way and then ran into the freaking mountain pass side. It's so much fun, but it's also customizable. You don't have to do the board that way. That's one thing about Downforce is a good game. And what I like about Heat comes with a lot of options. You have the dual-sided boards and stuff. But Thunder Road Vendetta, it's however you pull it out of the box. Or you can customize it to go the way that you want.
And those hazards are always different every single time you play. You can play the same map, and like you have complete, like now there's a ramp in the middle of the road. Now there's an oil spill there. Now there's a mine there. Now it's completely empty terrain, and you didn't expect that because you expected the worst. You know,
it is a non-technological AI, if that's how you want to think about it. It is going to constantly adapt and change. Where, like when you play other games where the board is always simulated one certain way. This is a way where you have that component where the game is constantly changing so the game doesn't get boring.
Right.
Not that the other games get boring. Heat doesn't get boring. Downforce. I played the heck out of Downforce. Love Downforce. But like you said, Ben, Downforce with guns. Oh my goodness. And helicopters. And now like the huge truck and motorcycles. It's just a fantastic game. I've even like the stupid thing about board games is there's these things called 3D printers. And there's like Etsy. Don't get on Etsy. If you're on Etsy,
Yeah,
don't
the 3D terrain for this is ridiculous.
Oh my goodness! Like there's like multiple shops that I'm following, and if there's ever a sale, because I'm not going to spend like $200 on the terrain, but if it ever gets under 150, I might have that terrain. Like it's favorited. I get the notifications. But man, it's a fun game. Restoration games, you're killing it. I'm really excited to see what you're going to do next. So for my non-Shane list games that I played this year, these were my 3 favorite games that I played so far this year.
Yeah, Thunder Road was definitely in my top 5. I think it's my number 5. And like when I learned Unmatched Tales of Your Maze was coming out this year, I looked at I literally at the retreat I told Justin, I was like, "What the crap, man? You're gonna have 2 games in my top 10 of the year? Like you guys are like on fire." And that's not to mention the fact that like multiple of these things came out this year. And I gave these all like 8.5s and 9s, It's like they're all amazing. So it's like, holy smokes, like they have so many solid games that come out like every year. Like they're just like killing it.
So good. Such a good company. And I love how you said earlier, I can't say what hasn't been announced yet. So like,
oh no, I said I don't talk about future things because I don't know what's actually been announced.
What's been announced yet.
I just know.
And so it's exciting to see, like even Fireball Island and Return to Dark Tower and some of these other IPs that they've touched. It's exciting to see like what game are they going to fix now, or not fix but update now. So, because Thunder Road is a reprint of an old game.
That's what they do.
It's just that's what they do. Unless I don't think Unmatched is a reprint. I think it's an original.
So
IP.
technically, they took some of the rule sets from Star Wars Epic Duels, and they kind of like redid it a little bit,
Which
so it was supposed to be a remake.
I love the way that they did it, because Unmatched to me is kind of like HeroScape, where you can have T-Rex fighting a dragon, who's fighting the Incredible Hulk, who's fighting space aliens, who's fighting a cowboy, who's fighting Chuck Norris. That's Unmatched. Just, not on the whole HeroScape realm. And so Unmatched gives that HeroScape itch, not on the grand scale of how big it could be, but I remember a couple times I played HeroScape. It was ridiculous when I was calculating my armies and everything I had in my armies, how weird and stuff they were. And Unmatched does that very well. And just like Thunder Road Vendetta, it does it very, very well.
One thing about Thunder Road is I wish that, it plays very well at its player counts, but I feel like if you go above 5, like it gets really slow. I wish they had like a variant where you play with maybe slightly less cars or something like that, where you could push it to like almost party game level, I'd love to like play with a bunch of people with like 2 cars and just like go at it. It's like, oh, well, the game might be over faster because you only have 2 cars, but at least the rounds go around quicker,
I think you could do that. And you might know more about this and you may not be able to say, but I heard on the upcoming reprint or next campaign that they do that they're talking about one of the expansions being just cars, because right now the expansions are the 18-wheeler and the motorcycles and stuff. And so this way, if you had another one that's just cars,
I would love that.
You could house rule it where everybody's good.
Well, they might have a rule set that makes it better for higher player counts, which would be really cool if they are actually forward thinking enough, because I feel like you can easily do that with that system. It's just when you play all 3 cars and everybody does their 3 dice, it's like, well, this car doesn't get to move for a really long time.
Man, yeah. Well, and if you went crazy with it and did like a Mario Kart thing where you get 10 people and everybody's got 1 car and you hope your car survives and you try to get across and it's the first one to survive, you either get it across or you're just the one who survived. That'd be kind of fun. There are options, and there's plenty of creative people out there where you can make your own house rules, but
I didn't say Thunder Road's too long. I said Thunder Road at 6 players is too long, or maybe just Kent takes too long with his turns, arguing over mud being there or not,
He said Last Road.
Last Road.
I like that.
I love it. But yeah,
all right.
that is.
Can Courtney get to feeling better?
And Matt, You're a hard worker. Hopefully work doesn't call you in too much anymore. So that way, he said he's going to be here on the next episode. You might have Matt here on the next episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you weren't. But you weren't kidding, Ben. And now we know you. We know where you are, and we're coming. Don't worry about it. You can't hide. You can't hide. You might be bigger, but we're the biggest. We're coming.
I did see Rob push a car uphill in the snow once. He's big.
For multiple miles while
Yeah.
you laughed, saying, "I just had a heart attack. Sorry, can't help." Oh, I'll never get over that. I'm not bitter. I'm just still cold. I'm just still cold.
I've been warming up for years. That was
Years, bro.
that was,
Still
that
not.
was 2018.
So we dropped the news. We have less people on the podcast than normal, but yet it's quite a bit longer than normal. But we just like to have fun. Is obviously just what I
Yeah,
figured out.
It's really
Ricky's here, and I just, I put my hair down. I'm having fun, just, having a good time. Started off the podcast in Spanish, so for all of our Spanish-speaking people, hola, buenos días, buenas noches, ¿cómo está? Todo está bien. Que bueno, vamos a jugar con nosotros. Just a good time. Just a good
I
time.
love it.
All right, Rob, do you want to close out the podcast in Spanish for us then?
Nope. No.
He just wanted
Me not realizing you were starting the podcast and speaking in Spanish, I'm purposefully not gonna. Yeah.
Oh, well, we tried. Anyway, hasta mañana.
Nope. You shouldn't do it either.
I did it as redneck as possible.
Yeah.
I broke
Hasta
Adam.
mañana, everybody.
See you on the flip side. Ruthie's like,
The
we're done.
flippity flip. Ooh, that's another Office meme. Catch you on the flippity flip. It's another deep cut.
Oh man.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for tuning in. Anybody who made it this far, you're the best, and thank you for checking out our.
We still have people watching.
We have all these people watching, but nobody says anything in chat. What's going on? It's the one
Dang,
guy
look at that
from
number saying you started
trying to.
streaming 111 minutes ago.
It's it's the guy from just hate watching from your Twilight Imperium game. Just kidding. He was trying to say something.
Yeah, that's what it is.
He was gonna comment, but then he just played an action card and didn't instead. So.
No, he was gonna comment, but he's still trying to decide which action card to play to comment.
Well, there you go.
It took him that full 110 minutes to do it.
Bro.
All right. Well, on that note, thanks everybody for joining us.
Bye,
We'll see you on the next one.
guys.
Bye.
Yeah.